Hi, everybody. Welcome to your 4 to 5. It's been so long, I'll forget everybody's name. Chad
Oh,
Silver,
no!
Sydney Moore,
That's okay.
Eric Chilton. We're all here.
We'll give you a little grace. I have to ask him the same thing I asked you last weekend. Were you able to find WFMY News 2 good? Did you get lost or anything of that nature? You've been gone for a while.
The trail of breadcrumbs worked, so I found my way back.
You know what's crazy? This is the first time the new 4 to 5 team has been working together.
Yes.
Has it been 2 weeks?
Yes.
Wow.
More than 2 weeks.
It's vacation season.
Yeah, so this is what you're going to have to get used to.
You're stuck with.
It'll be fun.
Hopefully you like us, right? Coming up, we've got an update on some worker strikes across the country, and you'll meet a man working to help people often forgotten. But first, we are talking about what everybody's talking about, the heat.
Yeah, we could see the hottest temperatures of the year later this week.
WFMY News 2's Daniel Cruz is live from Wet and Wild Emerald Pointe, where managers are working to look after their employees on these hot days.
Guys, this water feels absolutely fantastic on these hot days of summer. Right here at the pool is where anyone wants to be, but as much fun as it can be to be in this water, just keep in mind, ask yourself, when's the last time you had a drink of water, or when was the last time that you had something to eat? Now here at Wet and Wild Emerald Pointe, more than 60 lifeguards are working to keep everyone safe each day, and park management is also constantly looking to look out for those employees. Although lifeguards may seem to have a cool job while they're out by the pool, they actually spend more time out of the water than in it. And that's why Emerald Pointe provides water and sunscreen and as much shade as possible.
We encourage them, if they're feeling hot, to get someone to cover their spot, and then they can jump in and cool off throughout the rotations. Our employees, that are not in aquatics, you'll see them walking around, they have a hat on, right? So we want to make sure they're staying cool. We have water coolers throughout the park just for our employees.
Emerald Pointe has also trained their employees on the signs of heat stroke and heat exhaustion, and they also have certified EMTs on site every day to be able to respond to any of the emergencies while they are here in the park. Now, the biggest reminder to guests is simply to drink plenty of water, take breaks from the sun, and make sure you eat a meal, a light meal, nothing very heavy. That can help you from overdoing it in these hot dog days of summer, guys. Back to you.
All right, stay cool out there, Daniel. Thank you. And Chilton, it sounds like they're only...
Yeah, I mean, I think what Chad was about to say was how hot it is. And yes, he's exactly right. We're looking at some of the hottest weather that we've seen all year. Now, I will tell you that I went on the low end of the models. So when you're looking at, there we go. Weatherman shrunk down just a little bit. Well, 1 second, we'll get right back. We're talking about low 90s. Now, some of the models going as high as 93, 94 degrees. I kept it closer to about 92. I just feel like we're probably in that. Either way you look at it, right? 92 to 94, either way, too hot for this time of the year. Code orange air quality, we have that today. We do think that will reduce to a yellow for tomorrow. And then there's that low to mid 90s, really depending on where you are. Now, if you head down South Carolina and Georgia, they're really going to feel the heat. Storm chances will be extremely low for us. Current readings across the area, 86 in Greensboro, 88 High Point, 85 Winston-Salem. Some of these temperatures being held down by the haze that we have out there, and that's of course that air quality that we mentioned. And you can see the winds really aren't helping. When the winds are very calm like that, it doesn't do much in the way of cooling us down. So tonight we'll see overnight lows around 70 degrees, still mostly clear, although you do see that haze. Partly cloudy, 91 degrees for tomorrow. And don't forget, for the rest of today and into the evening, we have that code orange air quality, which means it's unhealthy for groups that already have respiratory issues.
Eric, thanks. As he mentioned, we're dealing with that code orange poor air quality today. It's thanks to those ongoing Canadian wildfires and the smoke traveling down the East Coast. Sensitive groups like young children, older adults, and people with lung issues should avoid time outside or wear a mask while out there. Everyone else should try to limit time outside. We could see similar air quality issues later this week, and you can stay up to date on the latest weather advisories with the most accurate weather team in the Triad. Just download our app to access it all.
And we're not alone in the heat. Scorching weather is hitting 2 more continents, with predictions of historic temperatures taking over parts of Asia and Europe. Parts of Italy are expected to hit 118 degrees, but the heat wave didn't stop thousands from gathering in a sweltering St. Peter's Square on Sunday to see the Pope. In Greece, Athens' famous Acropolis shut its gates when temperatures topped 104 degrees. In Asia, Japanese officials placed tens of millions under a heat advisory. The country might break its record high of 106 this week.
with it being as hot as it is, I feel like we have to be really mindful of that and staying inside as much as we can.
The heat, it's hard, but we're going to push through it.
We love it because in Australia, where we're from, it's winter. So this is beautiful, it's bellissimo.
In China, tourists traveled to the Flaming Mountains, and the hottest place in country lived up to its name. It had a staggering surface temperature of 176 degrees.
You've likely heard about seasonal affective disorder. You might assume it's only related to cold and dreary weather in the winter, but research shows nearly 1 in 5 people experience it during the summer. Contributors include a change in schedule, like not having childcare when the kids are out of school. It can also be impacted by vacation stress, either the fear of missing out if you can't take a vacation, and of course the extreme heat. Doctors recommend being realistic about expectations you set for yourself and planning your summer ahead of time. The summer weather can create other dangers as well. Warnings about exercising in the heat and drinking too much water coming up in about 10 minutes.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Graham police have a warning for gun owners after 14-year-olds were found with stolen guns. Police say they see upticks in these crimes during the summer months, and the suspects are getting younger and younger. The Guilford County Sheriff's Office says 20 guns have been stolen out of cars so far this year. They say if you get out of your car, bring your gun with you or lock it in the glove box or a gun safe in the car. The man arrested after police say he shot at officers, causing a neighborhood to be on lockdown, was in court this afternoon. Police say Jaquan Singleton was shooting 2 guns on Fox Hunt Drive last week. When officers arrived, police say Singleton shot at them before running away and barricading himself in an apartment. Police were able to peacefully get him out after a couple of hours. Singleton faces 27 charges, including assault with intent to kill and assault with a gun on an officer. He is set to appear in court again next month. He's being held on $300,000 in bonds. A High Point man was arrested and charged with indecent exposure while out on bond for several other charges, including indecent exposure, sexual battery, and peeping. In the most recent incident, 19-year-old Nori Staten is accused of exposing himself in the pool area of a High Point apartment complex. Staten was arrested 2 times in May and already arrested 2 times this month. He's currently being held on a $50,000 bond. It's been 1 year since the rollout of the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline nationwide. New data shows the 988 Lifeline has answered nearly 5 million contacts in the past year, 2 million more than the previous year. But a recent survey finds only 17% of Americans are familiar with the service. You can call or text the number 988 any time of the day, any day of the week, and someone will be there to help. And this year, they're adding a new 24/7 text and chat support in Spanish.
In about 2 weeks, we could see the beginning of what could be one of the costliest strikes in history. It involves the union representing UPS drivers. The Teamsters are demanding pay increases, especially for part-time workers, and they promise to strike if they cannot reach an agreement by the end of the month. If that happens, a study found a 10-day work stoppage, for example, would have a $7 billion impact. That includes $4 billion in losses by customers. Last week, UPS said it'll temporarily begin training non-union employees to step in if a strike were to happen. Meantime, Hollywood is still on strike. Actors and screenwriters are striking together against the major studios. They're demanding better pay and other protections in the new world of artificial intelligence and streaming services. We'll be right back. As you probably know, homelessness impacts countless people across our area and the country.
Some folks are using their talents to help those in need.
Jay the barber, what are you doing here, Jay?
I'm giving back, you know.
That's what I'm talking about.
Seeing everybody out there, man, like just in distress and stuff like that, I knew I had to help them.
Jayon Hughes, better known as Jay the Barber, has been cutting hair for a little over 4 years now. And though it's how he makes his living, he gave his services away absolutely free.
Me giving a haircut, knowing that they satisfied my haircut, that's money. That's something money cannot buy.
His customers were out on the corner, not inside the barbershop, but they didn't care. His gesture helped change their lives.
Cut like 10 people, and 4 of those homeless people had interviews the next day. So yes, I got them interview ready.
And Jay wasn't doing this for recognition. Tanya Murphy, a local social media reporter,
I want to show y'all something.
says she just happened to be driving by and was inspired by him.
I do Tanya with the T, and it's some accidents, it's sometimes negative. I want to bring positive, and I love community involvement. So I had to get that.
And not only did she get it, the story has been viewed over 45,000 times. And for Murphy, this story is close to home. Her son, Ulysses Gray, is a seasoned barber himself, and not surprised his mother highlighted Jay.
Seeing him do it, it's like, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you put the map out there, and that's why my mother sees stuff like that and capture it, because that's the type of stuff I've been doing, and that's how she's seen me as well.
And Tanya says the best part is Jay was helping those in need gain a sense of self-worth.
People say, get out of here. I don't want to talk to you. And for him to be praised like that, that's going to give him a
Oh my goodness, you're handsome.
I try to cut as many people as possible. I hope to do that again.
Oh, that is just amazing. It's probably one of my favorite things to see is folks giving back into the community. And I mean, their faces just smiling. He said, I'm getting them interview ready. I mean, just amazing.
And it's a really good investment into your community too. What did it cost him? Maybe nothing, but his time. Obviously time is important, but the things that he did for other people, like we were talking about the interview, I mean, you get this guy a job because he had a nice haircut along with everything else.
Yeah.
He might come back and become a paying customer, you know, and then the cycle continues.
I feel like the more and more I'm on social media as well too, the more I'm seeing folks just like this barber do certain things like that. Of course, they have different talents and things of that nature, but it's all about giving back. And like you said, it doesn't cost me anything, you know?
Right, but his
That's
time.
it, exactly.
Good luck
Very
with those
nice.
interviews. We'll be right back. Get ready for another hot week where we will feel temperatures in the 90s for a few days.
And if you are looking to exercise outdoors, experts say it might do you more bad than good.
You may want to think twice before exercising outdoors in this heat. Let's connect the dots. Deciding when it's safe to still lace up the sneakers and work out is more complicated than you might think. According to the Washington Post, the consequences of a too hot workout can range from feeling thirsty to even death. The numbers on the thermometer are not the only thing you should be looking at, but when it hits 95 degrees, you should think about moving inside. The other big factor is humidity. When there's a lot of moisture in the air, it's harder for your sweat to cool your skin, making working out even more dangerous. So, what are the warning signs? According to experts, you should be on the lookout for a headache, thirst, and muscle weakness. Also, be aware that some medications can make it harder for your body to regulate temperature. And that is connecting the dots.
So if you do decide to exercise outside or plan to spend a lot of time in the heat, it's important to keep hydrated.
Yeah, but doctors warn that drinking too much water can be dangerous as well.
You want to stay hydrated, but you also don't want to overdo it.
We've all heard it. Drink 8 glasses of water a day. But is that really necessary for the average person? For some like Elizabeth Martinez, knowing how much to drink can be a guessing game.
It's kind of hard. Like, where's that safe zone between staying hydrated and not overdoing it?
Dr. Jill Michaels is the managing director of Palmetto Poison Control Center.
Where people get into trouble is, number one, they drink the water too fast, and number two, they're drinking just plain water. So when we're hydrating our bodies, we need to make sure we're also including those electrolytes back in, not just plain water. And when you drink too much too fast, you have all this extra water in your body, and your kidneys can't keep up to excrete out that extra fluid that we have, and so it affects your brain.
Online medical sites indicate drinking too much water can cause overhydration, which can lead to serious health issues.
It might be their behavior. They could be confused, disoriented again, complaining of really bad headaches, start vomiting, and if you've noticed them drinking the water too much, it could be a combination of things. Certainly their behavior with drinking the water, but then also how they're responding back to you. And it can be a medical emergency, so if you do see that, that's when you call 911 to get that person help as soon as possible.
I didn't even know. I thought water was good for us, so I thought we could drink as much water as we want, but I guess not.
Yeah, water is good. Water is great for you, of course, but I have realized on days that I feel like I've drunk, too much water or something of that nature, it does make me feel just kind of like a little bit of nausea. I start to feel a little weird, and I'm like, wait, but it's water. So that is good advice.
My wife is on me all the time because I don't drink enough water, period, at all. Like, there are some days I would venture to say I don't drink water.
Really?
Like, all day long. So it's not good, not a good thing. But then my son is the opposite. He drinks so much, I'm like worried that he's going to get this sickness that they're talking about. Somewhere in the middle is a happy ground.
And then one of our coworkers, you remember a few years ago, doesn't work with us anymore, and he drank so much sweet tea that he actually got kidney stones because he didn't drink enough water. And so that freaked me out. So I said, okay, I'm just going to drink a lot of water, not a lot of sweet tea, because there's sugar in there. But yeah, I'm more concerned about not drinking enough water than drinking too much of it.
Well, I see people that bring these, and I've seen this again. Somebody that doesn't work here anymore used to have it looked like a gallon container and I thought surely you're not drinking all that in one day.
And I think it's even more than one of those.
It's a thing that makes me look good type of thing. You see a lot of folks, I'm like, are you really doing that correctly? They're like, it just looks good.
That's my generation that didn't drink any water at all. Yeah. Now we have to force ourselves to do it.
And this is all great advice, especially with, hot temperatures here and seeing another week of it.
Yeah, I'm almost afraid to tell you not to drink. You can drink as much water as you want the next few days. Let's talk about this because we will see temperatures into the low 90s. Now, some of the forecast models, going as high as 93, 94 degrees in the next few days. That is not out of reach, but I'm going to stick with about 92 for the hottest high temperature that we'll see, but I will tell you some of those models are going as high as the mid-90s. So be prepared, right, just in case, and that's kind of what we're looking at. Temperatures now, this is not all that bad. Now, by the way, these temperatures today held down by the amount of haze that we have in the atmosphere. We still might squeak out a low 90 here or there, but 86 in Greensboro, 87 Burlington, that's hot enough. You head down to Troy, they do see a 90 there, and even Pinehurst at 87. Winds aren't helping because they're almost non-existent. I mean, you're seeing 3-mile-an-hour winds here and there. That's about it. So barely a breeze, if you even want to call it that. That's not helping. Air quality forecast now, just updated updated here, and we were checking this out. Now, today and tomorrow is in the unhealthy for sensitive groups, which just means it's a code orange day, and anybody that you know that might have a respiratory issue, they need to limit that outdoor activity. And you can see they've changed this graphic, updated just a short time ago. This goes until Tuesday morning at 4:45 a.m., but that is an air quality warning for the entire viewing area, really. Across the area, cloud cover pretty non-existent right now. You might see a couple. Really, it's more haze than anything else, but there are those 90s we talked about. 91 for Tuesday and Wednesday. Rain chances are reduced for Tuesday, and then kind of normal. That's a 30% chance Wednesday, Thursday. Hottest 2 days of the week are at the end of the work week at 92. And again, that possibility of maybe squeaking up a temperature a degree or two on those days. By the weekend, though, back to normal, upper 80s, but a very slight 20% rain chance.
All right, what would you do if you found a huge snake in your bathroom? A family in Graham called 911 when this one showed up.
Yeah, it seems the officers moonlight as animal wranglers. This happened Saturday night. In a Facebook post, Graham Police wrote, officers cleared the residence, and after a brief standoff, Sergeant Way made the apprehension. The suspect was removed and relocated without incident.
Lots of people reacted on the News 2 Facebook page. Marcia says, that would be my last day there, and I agree. Jackie says, poor little rat snake just out looking for a rodent to eat and gets all harassed. Great snakes to have around. Michelle says, I don't care what kind of snake it is. A snake and I can't live with a snake. Aaron says, that is not a trespasser as far as I'm concerned. The house is now theirs. And Brenda says, no, I would have a for sale sign in the yard real quick. And I agree with most of them. I'm out of there. I don't need to live there anymore.
So I know it's a black snake and they're not what that one lady said, they're good to have around. True if you live out in the country and stuff, but whatever. There was about a 4.5, 5 foot black snake on our back porch one day. I hate snakes. My wife is not as afraid of snakes. So we were looking through the blinds, me and the kids said, look kids, look, look. And she goes, well, that poor little thing. So she went out with a rake and picked it up and took it out. And then instead of, I thought she'd take it out to the woods because we're out in the county, right? She dumped it in our yard and went back inside. I said, no, it's just going to go under our house.
Or something.
And it did. It went under our house for a while. Never saw it again.
Oh my gosh.
Not me.
You'll see it at some point.
That snake would not be here if I had been one to go
I just want to know where they found it in the bathroom, right? Because like you've heard the horror stories of people opening up the toilet and seeing like a snake in the toilet.
Oh my goodness, that would be
So that's a real fear of mine. And I actually, even if I get up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, I flip the light on every time because that's.
You want to know what I would do? It's
Sell the
simple.
house.
Oh, it's simple.
Burn it down.
Everything. Ding, 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 ding. And some of you might say, "Oh my gosh, you're doing the most." You know, just you don't need to leave.
Dramatic,
No,
right?
that is exactly what I'm gonna do. They can start paying the bills now.
Gotta go.
I'm out. Peace out.
Imagine if it like came up through the shower when you were.
Stop. No. All right.
Crazy.
On that note, we're gonna take a break and be right back. Welcome back to your 4 to 5. Sydney, Eric, and Chad. That was our dance club music. That's what that
It's to clear everybody's mind of the snake conversation we were just having.
Yeah,
it's like a refresh.
I'm still recovering. I truly am. But how are y'all doing today? It's Monday, on this Monday afternoon, that is.
Monday after a vacation for me, so I'm back at it slow, but I'm here.
Do you feel refreshed?
You know, I do. I think mentally I get it. It is kind of that cleansing thing, and then when you come back, you have more energy for work.
I mean, good for you for taking a relaxing vacation, because for me, I am like on the go all the time on vacation. And so I like enjoy work days because it allows me to just take a breather.
It's the kid thing though. When you're a parent of 4, that vacation we're doing nothing. We're going to the beach and to the pool, and that's all we're going to do for
just relaxing.
And that's all we did.
That's good for your mental health too.
It sure is.
Well, coming up this half hour, we're going to be talking about getting kids ready to go back to school. Hard to believe we're almost there. And we're also talking about ways to help your pet beat the heat. But first, we've got to get to your 4 to 5 roundup. First up today, the man accused of shooting at officers last week was in court this afternoon. Police say Jaquan Singleton was in a shootout with police that led to an hours-long standoff on Fox Hunt Drive. They arrested him hours later. Singleton faces 27 charges, including assault with intent to kill and assault with a gun on an officer. High Point police say they've arrested a man for indecent exposure who was out on bond for similar charges. Police say 19-year-old Nori Staten exposed himself in the pool area of an apartment complex. Police arrested him twice in May and 2 other times earlier this month on similar charges. He is in jail this afternoon on a $50,000 bond. Graham police have a warning for gun owners after they found 2 14-year-olds with stolen guns. Police say they see an increase in these crimes during the summer and the criminals are getting younger. The Guilford County Sheriff's Office says 20 guns have been stolen out of cars so far this year. 2 young children were swept away in Pennsylvania flash flooding over the weekend, and they are still missing. This story is heartbreaking. The 9-month-old boy and his 2-year-old sister are actually from Charleston, South Carolina, and were visiting friends and family and were in the car at the time of the flooding. First responders say the dad took a 4-year-old boy to safety. The mother and grandmother took the other 2 kids who were now missing. The mother died. The grandmother survived.
Guilford County school leaders are deciding on the future of the Middle College at Bennett tomorrow. The school district and college released a joint statement about a month ago saying it might be difficult to continue the partnership. Bennett College restricted their schedule. It doesn't match up with GCS's school calendar anymore, they say. The Middle College didn't even open last year. The board heard public comments about the Middle College last month. Now they plan to vote on the closure at tomorrow's school board meeting. A High Point native turned NBA player is giving back by helping kids from his hometown get ready for the new school year. Washington Wizards player Anthony Gill held his second backpack giveaway this morning. Hundreds of students got backpacks and school supplies and enjoyed some fun activities.
The main reason we're doing this event is just to give back. We want to love the community that loved us. My wife and I, we find it very important to be in the community. We were blessed with an opportunity by God to be here, so we want to try our best to put our best foot forward in the same community that helped raise us.
Gill hopes to keep his new annual backpack giveaway going next year. The Teacher's Supply Warehouse in Guilford County reopens for the school year tomorrow. Teachers can stock up on new supplies as well as gently used items like games, books, office supplies, and craft materials at no cost. The warehouse still needs donations year-round. You can drop them off Monday through Thursday. And over in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County school parents, you have an upcoming deadline. Families have less than 2 weeks to sign their student up for a seat on the school bus. Anyone not signing up for a bus stop will not have one until September 11th, after the school year starts. The deadline is July 28th. As for Guilford County schools, the time to request a bus has come and gone. Any requests that were made after July 1st will be processed after the 15th day of the school year.
Josh Thompson has been head coach of the Bishop McGuinness boys basketball team since 2004. He's led the Villains to 323 wins and a pair of state championships.
Wow, Thompson was recently selected as one of 93 boys coaches from around the nation to take part in the upcoming NCAA College Basketball Academy.
Start the game ready to roll. A possession at the beginning of the game can make a difference at the end of the game. Bishop, it's an honor to be selected. I'm really humbled by it, and I'm just excited for the experience. I've had a lot of texts saying congratulations for being picked, and just excited for the experience and ready to get out there. Selection process goes through the National Association of Basketball Coaches and the NCAA. You have to be a member of the National Association of Basketball Coaches, and we sent applications in back in February. And I got the notice in May that I was selected for one of the coaching positions, and we've gone from there. This is about toughness on both ends. Let's go, come on. Tough on 3, 1, 2, 3, tough. It's really cool, like to be able to be selected 90 coaches among the whole country. It's really neat, and I'm just looking forward to going out there and learning from people and just getting better and hopefully bringing something back to our Bishop program to make us stronger. Look at John, step, ball fake. Yep. You got a ball fake. Yep, and if you can't get it back door, you can come back and get it on a DHO. I need some points, some rebounds, and some assists, all right? Let's go. We'll be partnered with another coach, coaching a team and going through all the classroom sessions, so it's just gonna be a great learning experience for me. And just to be a part of something with the NCAA and the NABC, they always do things in a first-class manner, and to be around other professionals that do things in in a first-class manner. It's just going to make me better and hopefully, like I said, make our Spartans and Bishop McGinnis program better as well.
The NCAA College Basketball Academy runs next week in Memphis, Tennessee. Such a cool honor, and only 93 coaches throughout the country, which means fewer than 2 a state on average. What a great honor, and just like a really cool accolade for Bishop McGinnis and just the program in general.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge opportunity. And also I'm thinking about his players too, that will be able to say, you know, that their coach was able to attend this academy. And I'm sure that they also will be cheering him on here locally.
So cool. Congratulations to him. Well, we are under a code orange alert for air quality today, as you know. Blame it again on the Canadian wildfires spreading smoke across the East Coast. Sensitive groups like children, young children, older adults, and people who have lung issues should avoid time outside or wear a mask while outside. Everyone else should try to limit their time outside. You know, I think, Eric, everybody was hopeful that we were going to be saying goodbye to these Canadian wildfires, at least the smoke from it, weeks ago, but it's crazy to think we're still dealing with it.
Yeah, not the case. In fact, I was a little surprised too when the wind shifted and pushed it this far south. It could be worse, right? We are on just the edge of this, so that's why we're seeing a code orange as opposed to whenever we get bumped up into that red, which is unhealthy for everybody. We are not there yet, but they did upgrade tomorrow now, so tomorrow is also a code orange day. Our temperature is at 86 degrees in the Triad. Look at Fayetteville, 92 there. Wilmington, a little bit cooler there with the sea breeze there at 80, and also they had a sprinkle there a short time ago. Air quality forecast for today and tomorrow, that is orange, unhealthy for sensitive groups. Basically, if you know anybody or if you have any type of respiratory issue, you need to limit your outdoor time all the way around. Now, if we were to bump up to that unhealthy, then that means everybody limits outdoor time. And also no exertion outside if you are one of the sensitive groups for respiratory problems. Satellite and radar across the area. Other than that, it's just hazy. We do have a couple of clouds in the southern Piedmont, but pretty clear here. It's all due to a big ridge of high pressure that remains in control, and it just keeps churning the heat, right? As it moves on to the east, we see our temperatures hover in the low 90s. I say 91 to 92 for the rest of the work week. We get a little relief for the weekend, but this cold front, the tail end of that, will just barely skirt over to the north of us. We are hoping once this high moves on, then it allows us to cool down a little bit. Here's what it looks like with the 7-day outlook. Low 90s, 91 or 92. Pick your poison there. That's Tuesday through Friday. Rain chances are slim every day except Wednesday, Thursday. That's a 30%. Still not all that great. Low rain chances the weekend too, but we are back to normal for temperatures in the upper 80s for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
If you're looking for ways you and your pet can beat the heat this week, you might not have to look any further than the water, right? But is swimming really safe for dogs? Abby Larico spoke with sources to verify ways you can have fun with your pet while keeping them cool and safe this summer.
How do very good pups get through very hot days? Sometimes with a splash.
It can be great exercise. It can be a good way for them to cool off as well. But there are definitely some dangers that go along with it.
Our pet experts agree swimming is a great activity for dogs who can swim.
You would think the doggy paddle will come innately, but some dogs, it doesn't click.
The American Kennel Club says short-legged or long-bodied dogs tend to struggle in the water, but even those bred for swimming prowess should be introduced to the water with care. The ASPCA warns to never throw or force a dog into the water, but guide them gently. Dogs can learn to swim.
And it may take a few tries of just holding your arms underneath them until they start to actually get that paddle.
Well-fitting floaties can give a dog some confidence. Life jackets are always recommended on motorboats. They may be furry, but water can be too cold for pets. Get out and get dry if they are shivering or if their tail goes limp. Provide pets with plenty of fresh drinking water to deter them from sipping where they swim.
Salt water can definitely be life-threatening. If they ingest enough of it, it would cause pretty rapid dehydration.
Currents in the ocean and rivers can be dangerous for pets and people. Chlorine in pools is safe, but AKC recommends a post-swim ear toweling to prevent dampness and infections. Ponds and lakes can carry harmful blue-green algae or leptospirosis. If they're acting at all abnormally after a swim trip, contact your vet immediately.
You know your pets better, and so if they seem off, then that's enough for me to investigate.
Our dogs are like family, so supervise them around water like family and keep swim sessions short. The AKC recommends taking breaks every 10 minutes to keep them from wearing themselves out. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
If you have a question or see something online you would like verified, let our team know. Email verify@wfmy.com and we'll be sure to look into it. We'll be right back.
Hello, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination. All right, so last week was a big shopping week. We had Amazon Prime, we had Target, we had Walmart. How many of us bought something through those sales?
I did it, but I wish I did.
I didn't.
You didn't?
No, and I even looked, I just looked a little bit, and I said, you know what, I don't need any of that junk. I could have bought it because it was a pretty good price, but I said,
need any of that junk.
I was like, why does it have to be called junk? Maybe you need it.
I don't know.
All right, even if you didn't buy anything during all the big sales, chances are you do buy things online, do you not?
Yeah, absolutely. Every other day.
Every other day, but just not on that prime
Yes,
time,
of
huh?
course, yeah,
Okay. I get sucked into like the targeted ads, you know, like you see on Instagram or on Facebook.
Right.
Have you done that?
Eric and I were just talking about this 2 weeks ago,
And
that I
it's-
bought the purple toothpaste.
It's interesting too when you start to look up stuff on purple toothpaste. When you look up stuff on Google, then all of a sudden it just pops up on your feed. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Oh, isn't it though? Okay, but we know that they're listening. So anyway, if you're like the rest of us, well, we have company.
Me. Yeah, it was on Facebook. It looked like it was an interesting product.
Yeah, looked like an interesting product. She waited and waited, but the product never came. So what did she do? She called her credit card company and she got a refund. Now, I think that's a really big point because a lot of times people go online and they use their debit card because they're like, no, I use it as a credit card, but it's my debit card. It is not the same thing.
And I'm glad that you're doing this story because I would have never have thought to call the credit card company. Rather, I would have just tried to hound the company.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, no, because a lot of times the company just does not respond. There's no like good way to do that or whatever. They've got your money and you don't don't have the product. And so that's when you go to your credit card company and say, this is not happening, I never got this, or I think it was a fraud, or whatever that is. And then it's easy to just like do it over because your debit card takes money right out of your bank account, right? Harder to get back. A true credit card, though, is simply much easier when it comes to those refunds. Now, I got one more buyer beware for you. Scammers are sending text messages or emails that look like they're coming from companies, right? You've seen these before. Impersonators creating urgency by telling you you're going to be charged on your card, or maybe that your account is about to be locked.
I think we're also just afraid to admit it because we feel that we've been conned and that we were gullible and we fell into the trap, and that's hard to admit. But it happens and we just have to be careful.
All right, so the word that they use is phishing, right? And so we've got these great little things here for you. It's got the phishing hook in there, right? And it's the whole thing that the scammer's phishing for your information. And those messages, can be pretty convincing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've never seen it for me personally through text, but I have seen it through email, and I almost fell for it. I was kind of going through halfway through, and then until I realized they were kind of asking me other weird questions, and I was like,
this is not it.
I know.
And I know that even our company will sometimes send us emails to make it look like it's from them, but it's really just a trick. And then if you click on it, it says, look what you did. You clicked on something wrong. So I like that, though. I like that we're being challenged on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that, they prey on our urgency, right? And they prey on us thinking, oh my gosh, something's wrong and I need to fix it. So the best rule of thumb is to never believe the text or the email, right? And don't get worried and simply go directly to the source. That means log on to your account, open the app, call your credit card company, ask them, did you really charge my card? Is my account really locked?
Communicate.
Yeah, all those things. All right, the best thing you can do, talk to your friends and family about this so everyone is aware how the scams work. Happy shopping otherwise. Okay.
We'll be right back. This might be one of the most unusual stories you will see today. A Florida neighborhood is dealing with a bunny boom.
Between 60 and 100 lionhead rabbits they're just running rampant. One resident explains that a neighbor left her rabbits in the street when she moved a couple of years ago. Since they weren't spayed or neutered, the animals just multiplied.
First thing I do is get up and cover up the holes and chase them out of the backyard too. But, you know, I'd like them, but I just wish they would live somewhere else.
Yeah, with their thick fur, the rabbits aren't safe in the Florida heat. Neighbors are trying to raise thousands of dollars to rescue the bunnies and find them homes.
I would probably have that same perspective as the gentleman there. I mean, I like them. You look cute. I mean, but you gotta go somewhere else.
I love that one bunny was laying flat out, like, I can't take the heat.
Just chilling.
Yeah, just give me something to drink.
The more bunnies are just doing what bunnies do, you know, and making more of them, and they just can't handle the Florida heat. I get it. A lot of people can't handle the Florida heat.
I just can't imagine just walking out and then just seeing all of
Hopping
these bunny
all
rabbits. What in the world? Is this like a dream?
It looks like my little girl will be in heaven because she loves all the bunnies everywhere. Just all around. Oh my gosh, they're literally like walking around the street.
Cute, though. They're so adorable.
It's happening right now. Can you see the animal catcher? They're hard to catch.
Really?
When they come out and try to, they're fast. Most of them are, the ones that live out near me. I mean, they're just sitting on the sidewalk.
It's
look at them.
A bunny infestation.
All right, see, now I'll take that over the snakes that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I agree. I
A
second
bunny
that.
in your toilet instead of a snake
Would
in your
not
toilet?
scare me.
Yeah.
Can't figure that one out, but
Right, I just kind of be like, how in the world did you get here?
I'll be like, hey, little buddy, you got a story. Let's talk about our forecast. We're going to be hot enough that those bunnies will rather stay in Florida than come here, maybe. Yeah, it's going to be that way for a while. We've got at least another 3 or 4 days of plus 90-degree weather moving in. Not right now, though. Greensboro's at 86 and Winston-Salem 85. We've got 87 for Burlington, a couple of 84s in Wilkesboro, and Lexington and 85 in Asheboro. All right, satellite and radar combination, not a whole lot to see. A couple of clouds, otherwise mostly clear. It'll be really nice heading into the evening tonight, by the way. That overnight low tonight, which means tomorrow morning, will be at 70 degrees with clear skies. We're hot, though, and that continues for the next several days. That's a big ridge of high pressure that just keeps scooting over to the right there. As long as that's moving to the east and it's back to our west, it is influencing our forecast, and indeed it is, and will continue to do so. By the way, we do have Tropical Depression Don that's out in the middle of the Atlantic. This one will be really of no consequence to anybody in the United States. It just kind of spins around and, believe it or not, heads up toward Nova Scotia. We'll keep you posted. Long-range forecast, easy, low 90s all the way through the work week. 30% chance of a late-day thunderstorm Wednesday, Thursday. Otherwise, it's a 20% chance across the board. This weekend, we are back to normal, thank goodness. In fact, a couple degrees below normal. How about that? 87 for Saturday and Sunday, 88 on Monday, and our overnight lows pretty consistently in the low 70s until this weekend, and overnight lows in the upper 60s. Hey, mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, heading back to the wood shop, AKA second weather.
Hi, Brad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I found Lippy. He's taking a look at it. He does not look very pleased. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hazy all week. And once again, it's a code orange day because of those Canadian wildfires. Meteorologist Eric Chilton, is it going to be hot and hazy all week?
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. It's time for my 2 cents. When Lauren was a little girl.
I just can't see the light. I'm just trying to get a little bit of warmth on you.
Microphone checking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Hello.
I think they're having.
What?
Yeah, they cannot hear you.
They can't hear
when it
me?
stops,
Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together. My IFB is like going really in and out, so I don't know if that's what it is, but can you hear me? Hello, hello?
I can hear you fine.
Get a battery or something?
Okay.
I'll cue you off the top because we have this first.
It's time for my 2 cents. When I was a little girl, my mom would often tell me, "You're beautiful just the way you are. You should love the skin you're in." I would say, "You're my mom. You're supposed to tell me that I'm beautiful." The truth is, I haven't always felt beautiful. Even now, there are days when I look in the mirror and I'm not happy with what I see or feel. You see, loving the skin I'm in is a process I must actively work at every day. On Saturday, I had the opportunity to share what it means to embrace your beauty with a group of triad teenage girls. It was all a part of the I Am a Queen, I Am Beautiful Teen Empowerment Conference. The conference focused on helping girls become empowered through mental health and the art of expression. I spoke with the girls about the dangers of spending too much time on social media and how it can cause us to have a false sense of reality and a false sense of who we are. Unfortunately, excessive use of social media can cause some to constantly compare themselves to others and feel like the life they live isn't good enough. We can't let what we see online determine our value and self-worth. Accepting who we are in this moment, practicing self-care, and speaking positively every day is essential. When you wake up in the morning, instead of reaching for your smartphone, spend some time looking in the mirror. You'll realize beauty is much more than skin deep. That's my 2 cents. I'll see you on the Good Morning Show tomorrow. WFNY News 2 at 5 starts now.
If you own a weapon, it is your responsibility to store it safely. One Triad Police Department is reminding folks your car is not a safe place.
Plus, the heat is on. See how the Triad is staying cool. The storm chances are